massively. Loads to talk about today. First question of the show. The first on the Six-Sided show today is, and I was going to start with number one, but I'm going to change it up a little bit to throw everybody off. I'm going to start with Newcastle because Kane's not here for the whole show. Fiction or football? Signing Voldemade and Wissa is an upgrade on Isak and Wilson at Newcastle. To you first, Kane. Fiction or football?
That's a tough one. I'm going to say fiction for now because with Voltemada, it's a lot of potential. So it could look like it could end up being as good as Isak. He might not be, in which case we've not done it. But I think what Newcastle try to do is replace Isak in the aggregate. I think Wilson at the moment is sort of a non-factor. It's really does Voltemada and Risa cover Isak. On talent, no. Potentially it could. It definitely raises our floor. And if I back Eddie Howe to improve Voltemada to the point where he could well be the next potential Alexander Isak. But at the moment, it's fiction.
I mean, did you see Callum Wilson's goal on Sunday? The movement.
I heard, yeah, fantastic. I mean, you can't beat that. That's instincts, I call that. But no, I think Johan Wissa is more than an upgrade on Wilson. It's what we've done is essentially taken Isak's goals and spread it over two players, which is probably the smartest thing and the only thing Newcastle could have done, I guess.
What are you saying, Staffy? Do you think that do you reckon? And this is about predictions, I suppose, because we don't know that much about. I keep saying Voldemada. I think it's Voldemada. Voldemada. I think
it is Voldemada. There is no umlaut on it, so it's Voldemada.
Voltemada. Yeah. David lived in Germany, so I'm always going to go to him on that one. Although he couldn't order a hamburger at McDonald's, they didn't understand him. But he doesn't know German. But what do you think, Staffy? Do you think these two collectively are going to score more goals and make Newcastle better in the attack than they were last year?
I mean, when you want to look at it in terms of depth, yeah, sure, because you potentially got a much better upgrade on Callum Wilson. But I won't say it's fiction. I'll say it's delusion because you don't lose arguably the best striker in the league because he's in a comparison with Haaland on who's the best striker in the league. I say all of a sudden you upgraded. That just doesn't happen. So you find yourself in a conversation. Would you rather quality or would you rather quantity? Because right now their quantity is good. They have two decent strikers. One is young upcoming and one who scored 19 goals in the league last season, which is very impressive for Wissa. But then you also lost Isak, and he's the best out of the bunch, and he's better than anyone in this conversation by a country mile. So I'd say it's fiction for me. I know Tom will agree.
It has to be fiction. It has to be fiction.
We've got no idea. I mean, Wissa, we've got a good year in the books at Brentford. 19 non-penalty goals, very impressive. I do think that the fee paid this morning was a bit sort of, I had to sort of double check it. I thought you'd get him for a little bit cheaper than that. Voltemada's the big one because no one has any idea if last season was a flash in the pan or not. Before that, he had 2 goals in his career. We were talking like William Masula numbers before last season. So if last season was where he properly kicked on in his career, then we're looking at, maybe we're having a conversation, but Alexander Isak got you 23 goals. That's very difficult to do in the Premier League. That was a guaranteed 20-plus goals for 3 seasons, I think. That's very hard to replace. Wissa, you've got a year of getting close to that. Maybe moving to Newcastle, a better team, team that will dominate more games. Maybe you'll see that be consistent. But again, we're talking about a 28, 29-year-old here. It's not like it's going to be a 4 or 5 year thing. We're talking about 2 years maybe. And Voldemada, there's just so much uncertainty about him. He's got such an interesting profile, a lot of interesting things going for him, but there's too many question marks about it. Was last year just a flash in the pan? Is this game going to translate over to the Premier League well? How are Newcastle going to use him? Are they going to ask him to do similar things to Isak, or are they going to try and play him in his own way? Because he is a bit of a different striker to what Alexander Isak was. There's so many moving parts with that one that I just think in the moment it's got to be fiction because we can't go against guarantees. And I know Wilson didn't play much last year, But Wilson, you don't do how many years Wilson's done in the Premier League without being a relatively good striker who can guarantee a certain number of goals. And Alexander Isak was, for all accounts, the best, if not the second best striker in the Premier League for Newcastle. So losing that and replacing them with maybes, it's got to be fiction for now.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be fiction. It's 14 Bundesliga goals, 6.5 mil per goal. It cannot be. It cannot be football. And again, it's not that he's a bad player. It's just that you're trying to replace like one of the best players in the league, and you've signed 2 players who are not as good as him. So those 2 on their own isn't better than Isak currently. So it can't be better than Isak and Callum Wilson. But you've definitely got more depth. So it might be you might be better off almost in a way, because obviously Isak obviously got his yearly injury that took you out for 2 months or something, like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So you've definitely got 2 strikers there that can contribute. So you might be better off depth-wise, but not quality-wise.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't know what Andrew Barnes thinks. I'm going to go with football. I'm going to go out on a limb. I think as a collective, they're going to score more goals. As a collective, which is what teams and squads are about, not individuals, I think their attack is going to be in a better position next season. I think that Voldemada and Wissa will collectively score more and create more than Isak and Callum Wilson combined. In the league, I'm talking. And I think it will I've said this all summer, and I've flip-flopped on it a few times when I've read, and maybe it was because I was listening to those fucking man like Keith, Craig No Hope, and Luke No Friends, because too much. But I actually think Newcastle were going to go from strength to strength. I actually think they've looked very good this season. They just haven't had people to put the ball into the back of the net. And had they had the hierarchy got these players in sooner, I think you'd be looking at a team sitting on somewhere between sort of 7 and 9 points, and they can't. I don't think there's no way they could have had 8. I don't think there's a mathematical way it could have been 8. But between 7, they'd be on 7 or 8 points. I think they win their opening 3 games, or at least 2 of them, and sitting in a much more comfortable position. So I'm just going to go with football, and it's a prediction. It isn't based on the numbers. It isn't saying Alexander Isak is a bad signing. I think it's a fantastic piece of business for Liverpool. That being said, I think as a collective, their strike force, I think, will be better this season than last year.
Yeah, I'm gonna say football as well, but like I'm gonna split it to say football for like Visa and Wilson. That comparison, just because of Visa's form last year, like Visa was like really really good. So like, is he a upgrade to Wilson? For now, yes. But Voldemort, I think that he still has. I mean, like David just said, just 14 goals in the Bundesliga. He played for Stuttgart, and so he's got to like definitely improve, because I don't remember how much Isak was, like how good he was before he came to Newcastle. I think it has to do a lot with the manager giving him the opportunity and helping him. Obviously, there is some natural talent there. So I think that, so I'm going to split it like that. In terms of like whether Voldemort is an upgrade to Isak, I would say fiction to that. But Visa is a better player, especially on form versus Wilson. And I think, yes, this team, especially how they've built their front line now, I think that they are going to be, because I saw their last game, they were really attacking, but they were just not finishing the chances. They were like making a lot of chances. They have the pace in front to sort of counter with Elanga and Anthony Gordon. Sorry. So I think that, yeah, this could be an interesting lineup, and I think after this like saga's over, like they know who their team is, and that's for every team right now. They know who their team is. They will be a little more settled. The international break came on the right time for them, so they can sort of sort their like feet out, and I think this is going to be a good thing for Newcastle.
It's fair. On Newcastle in general, Kane, are you just glad to see the back of this window?
Yes. I'm glad the dust has settled. I'm glad it's all over. I can now just go back to concentrating on the lads that want to play for the team. And I think I echo probably the thoughts of every footballer, every football fan, of a team whose player doesn't want to play for them anymore. He's gone. We've recouped a good fee for him. little on the low side for me, but hey, it's better than nothing. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. I echo what everyone else has been saying. I think we're still going to be in for a shout for top 5. I think I know Visser got 19 goals last season. Non-penalty goals, which is the same as Isak last season. And then the season before he got 12, and that was with a Brentford side with Ivan Toney in the team. So he can play both in alongside Voltemada as well as on his own. So I've got no worries with him. And I think with the Visser sign is important as well because it gives Voltemada the time and space to let him grow and get used to what Eddie Howe wants to do and let Eddie get into him and improve him. Like I know he will, because if one thing we all can agree on is Eddie Howe improves all players he touches in a non-weird way. But so I think in time to come we'll probably look back on this and say football. But for right now, I understand what people are saying. But I think, as you say, going from Isak to anyone is going to be a downgrade.
Steffi, do you think that this Isak saga though is a lesson to other clubs? And I'm not just saying smaller clubs versus bigger clubs, but is it a lesson to actually, as long as you're getting offered the right type of money, is it not just a lesson to get these things done sooner rather than later, rather than letting it drag down to deadline day, the media wars, the PR wars, the battling, the statements? Is it not just a lesson for every club to go, let's not be Newcastle?
Yeah, funny enough that you said that. I was actually about to ask, what did you as Newcastle learn anything this summer? And I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned. No need to be a little bit stubborn sometimes in the window. When a player wants to leave, especially when you're a lesser, I don't want to say a lesser club, but when you're a smaller club, compared to the Liverpools and the Uniteds and the Arsenals and all these guys, no point of just dilly-dallying the whole summer, just trying to get into sagas and, getting old. It just felt like, I'm not gonna lie, it felt like a TV show. It just felt like a reality TV, and like posts are being posted and the truth will come out soon. Just felt like a whole WWE promo. But listen, Isak got his move at the end of the day, and Newcastle got their players at the end of the day. Should they have done it sooner? Sure. They're already on what? How many points so far? Can you remind me, please? 2 points. It's a bad start. 2 points out of 9. Definitely not good. If you would have moved them on earlier on and got your players in, probably this would have been the situation. Especially that they have Champions League and all that. So I think they learned a very valuable lesson as a club that is aspiring to be a little bit bigger. It will take time to get to that stature. You're just not there yet. But it is what it is. They still managed to somehow kind of recover a little bit, make 2 decent striker signings. So it's good for them. But I hope they did learn a lesson from this. For their own sake, not for mine.
Yeah, listen, I kind of agree. How good a deal? Yeah, I know what you think about this, Tom, but I want to throw this to David. How good a deal is Isak to Liverpool? What does it do in terms of the title race, and maybe beyond the title race, David? What does it do for Liverpool in the sense of winning multiple trophies this year, plus the expectation 419 million? No, that's a lie. Now it's 400 and add another 35 to that, so to 254 million pounds spent by Liverpool, with Isak the sort of crowning jewel of their summer. What does it do expectation-wise?
It puts Liverpool in the best position to win every trophy that they enter. Fact. So that's what I'm expecting. Again, when my club was spending money, we got told we bought the league, we've ruined football, this, that, and the other, yada, yada, yada. And certain clubs' managers said, we can't spend money like the others do. So I have no problem with Liverpool doing this. I actually don't. I think it's great. Improve your squad and make it the best you can. I just want all of them to acknowledge the hypocrisy of it. But apart from that, they're in a good spot. They are favourites for the league. They are favourites for the Champions League. They're favourites for the FA Cup. They're favourites for the Carabao Cup. They're favourites for anything they enter. And they've pretty much got an elite player in every position on the field, apart from maybe centre back and left back, maybe. but I don't know enough about. Is Kirkes actually a elite level left back? We actually don't know yet.
No,
we don't know that. Thomas, we don't know that yet.
Back. No, I can accept that we don't have an elite left back. You're saying we don't have an elite centre back?
No, but you've got two positions at centre back, don't you? You've got Van Dijk, who's elite.
So you don't think Kanate is an elite level centre back?
No, he's not.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think.
I thought you were saying. I thought you were saying we just don't.
I don't think so personally, but
I think last season he showed that he can perform at that level.
Cool.
Wait, Tom, you surely don't think that Konate's elite, right? Surely not.
I think he's good. Elite though.
He's like the level below elite, whatever that is.
Say a little bit more than just one level below, but
no, he was very good.
Conversation for another day.
But like you've got, again, you won't get beat out in attack by most teams. You won't get beat out in midfield by most teams, and you won't get beat out in defense by most teams. And you arguably have the best goalkeeper. So you must, but also another team must as well. So one of you is going to be really disappointed at the end of the season, and it's going to be great. It's actually going to be great. And if neither of you win it, if neither of you win this title.
That brings us into that brings us into a really the next fictional football question, because I think it couples in nicely